March is finally here, and with it, some warmer temperatures, and in the stores, there are roses everywhere. So if you've been to Costco lately, I know you've seen roses like these on the shelves, and you may be wondering, are they a good deal, or should I wait? With temperatures still dipping down into freezing, is it safe to buy these now? In this video, we'll explore whether Costco roses are a deal or no deal, and I'll tell you how to keep your plants safe until those temperatures warm up. Let's dig in. So I snagged these gold medal roses at Costco last weekend, and I was super excited to find them. This 2-pack of roses was $16.99. Now, if you're wondering if that's a good deal, it's a fantastic deal. You can find this same variety of rose selling online from $25 and up for plants that are about the same size. In fact, there is one garden company that is advertising these same roses for $35 at multiple big box stores, and they come in a 2-inch pot. Just for comparison, this is a 2-inch pot, and you only get one plant. The other reason why I think that these roses are such a great deal is because these roses are bred to be disease resistant. They have an upright, vigorous growth habit. They can get 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. They are known to be excellent for cut flower gardening, and the color is phenomenal. These blooms open to a gold color, but then they get this beautiful tinge of pink around the outside edges. And as you can see from the plant that I'm holding, these are already starting to grow. You can see all this fresh new growth. There's even some flower buds at the top of these stems. Now, you can find roses like this at Lowe's and Home Depot, and they're also about $16.99, but you're only going to get one plant, which makes this deal so much better than anywhere else I've seen. In fact, I even saw somebody on Etsy selling 3 cuttings of this exact plant for $10. That's more than you're paying for one plant that already has roots and is definitely going to thrive. And speaking of cuttings, with all of this new growth, you can see this is perfect for taking cuttings, and if I wanted to, I could turn these 2 plants into probably 6 plants in short order. Maybe I'll start a gold medal rose empire. I can't wait to see what they're going to look like when I plant these out in my garden. But it's still getting really cold here at night. Sometimes it's still below freezing, with temperatures hitting 27 or 28. And all this gorgeous new growth is not going to like that. So how can you keep your roses safe to ensure that they will thrive and bloom this year and make your garden look and smell amazing? There's actually several things you can do to keep these plants safe. While roses have a reputation for being kind of fussy and needing a lot of care, they're actually one of the hardiest plants that grow in my area. I'm always amazed every fall when I'm driving around my neighborhood how the roses are still green and blooming while everything else has faded. And even now, I can already see the signs of spring on my rose bushes. So now, if you've brought your roses home and it's too cold for you to plant them outside, you do want to wait until your soil temperatures are about 50 degrees. That's really going to help them get a great start and help them thrive and bloom beautifully this year. If it's still cold where you live, you can put them in a protected area that's cold and dark, like a garage or a hoop house. If you have the kingbird hoop house like I do, that added protection will really keep them safe. The only thing you really need to worry about if you have them in a garage or in a hoop house is that you don't let the roots dry out. When you bring your babies home, often you'll see that there is some room at the top of the plastic where you can add a little water. Now, you just want to give them a sprinkle. You don't want to saturate them and then have them start to rot. Just a sprinkle to keep them going, and you need to check them periodically to make sure that the roots are not drying out. Now, if you don't have a hoop house or a garage, you can of course bring them in your house, but you'll have to check them more frequently because the warmer temperatures will keep them actively growing. If you have the Costco greenhouse like I do, they can absolutely go in there, but if you're going to do that, which is what I'm going to do, you want to pot them up and be able to water them and maintain them and really give them that amazing start. So by the time we plant these guys, they'll be as big as if we bought them at a garden center, but we'll have paid a quarter of the price. And one other option for you is to heel them in. Heeling in means that you just unwrap them and place them underneath some damp soil or peat moss. That is another solution, but if you're going to do that out in the cold in a garden bed, you have to just be aware that their fresh new growth that's on these can be damaged by the frost. Now they'll come back, but you might not have that magnificent start that you would get if you potted them or if you protected them in a cool, dark place. So let's open this up and see what's inside. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I am a klutz. And when I am wearing small gloves, I absolutely eviscerate myself with the thorns. What I think is funny is that gold metal is supposed to be a low thorn variety, but if I bring it in close, there are tons of thorns on this plant. When you're working with roses or anything else that has thorns, blackberries for instance, you want gloves that are going to be really thick and leathery, and also gloves that come down further on your arm, because while your hands are protected in short gloves, I always end up scratching my arm. So these have been fantastic. They're one of my favorite pairs of gloves for working with roses, but also for weeding, because we get those multiflora weedy roses in my yard. I like to use them when I'm working with my evergreens because I always get a little irritated from the oil in the arborvitaes, and they are fantastic for keeping me safe from all these thorns. These gloves are available on Amazon. They're only like $15. Actually, I have a coupon code for you that I'll leave down in the description if you're interested. They have lots of fun patterns and they'll be to you either the same day or the next day. All right, so when you open up the plastic, you could see there is some paper in there. Now this is a good thing because this was probably damp when they put it in and it was meant to keep the roots from drying out, which is what you want. All right, and there we go. Look at all those roots. This thing is going to take off. And my garden is going to be amazing. And I hope yours is too. So if you haven't been to Costco, go take a look. They've got some amazing deals on all different kinds of roses. You may wonder how these compare to something like a knockout rose. Later this season in Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's, you are going to see loads and loads of potted roses from brands like Knockout and Easy Elegance. Now, I have those in my garden, and I definitely think that there's a place for them, but they tend to be lower petal count roses. Now, they're bred for disease resistance, not necessarily for cut flower growing or even for scent. A rose like this is going to have a much higher petal count. It's really going to give you that flower that you really think of with roses, and it's going to have an amazing scent. You'll be able to make your own bouquets without having to go to the florist and spend a fortune. I'm going to pot this up and I'll show you what it looks like. When potting up, you want to keep the grafted knuckle just a little bit above the soil line. That's going to help the plant stay upright and grow beautifully. If you plant it too deep, the grafted area may not thrive. If you plant it too shallow, then the roots can dry out. So you want to have the roots covered and the knuckle above the soil line. Now that I'm potted up, I'm going to fertilize with a well-balanced, slow-release fertilizer just to give these a little nutrition because they probably haven't had any in quite some time. And that's also going to help them start setting up that new growth. I am probably going to take some cuttings of this new growth, which is going to benefit the plant in the long run too. Every stem that I cut is going to produce 2 or maybe even 3 new stems. So it's good for me and good for the plant. After that, all that's left to do is to water in well and let these babies shine. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about buying bare root roses, let me know in the comments below. In upcoming videos, we're going to be doing some dahlias. We're also going to be doing some cuttings. So don't forget to subscribe.